planning a cookout this year? Catch up on the news. According to the Farm Bureau, the cost of a 4th of July barbecue is down from last year. It's a fact you must heard. Hot dog.
Hassle.
It's a fact you must hear. D. Hot dog, the Biden economic plan is working, and that's something we can all relish. I think this gave me an aneurysm. Oh, sick, dude. 16 cents? That's fucking sick. Thank you so much, dude. Americans wanted healthcare. The best I can do is save you $1.62 on your 4th of July barbecue. Okay, let's get back to an issue that will unite us. Sha Carri Richardson, I don't know if I'm saying her name correctly, was yeeted from the Olympics for performance-enhancing drugs. The famous drug that you take when you want to run really fucking fast. Weed. Sha Carri Richardson is suspended for 1 month after she tested positive for, get this, the devil's lettuce. When I think of someone who wants to run really fucking fast, I think they better not be smoking the devil's lettuce, the ganja. So the American sprinter Sha Carri Richardson, who was set for a star turn at the Tokyo Olympics this month, could miss the games after testing positive for marijuana.
10 months of contributing to the Champagne
Richardson, 21, won the women's 100-meter race at the U.S. track and fields trials in Oregon last month, but her positive test automatically invalidated her result in the marquee event. The United States Anti-Doping Agency announced the positive test result Friday morning and said Richardson had accepted a suspension for 1 month starting on June 28th. Of course, the place that she actually smoked weed in, it's legal. It's not even like an illegal thing that she was taking at the time. Just because it's illegal in Japan doesn't mean anything. It's not a performance-enhancing drug. I was making a joke. It's just an illegal substance. In an interview with NBC on Friday, Richardson blamed the positive test on her use of marijuana as a way to cope with the unexpected death of her biological mother while she was in Oregon for the Olympic trials. Richardson, who was raised by her grandmother, said she learned about the death from a reporter during an interview and called it triggering and definitely nerve-shocking. Sent me into a state of emotional panic, she said, adding, I didn't know how to control my emotions or deal with my emotions during that time.
Chanel, thank you. And Sha Carri Richardson joins us now. Good morning, Sha Carri. I just want to ask a simple question first. How are you doing?
I'm blessed to be alive. That's about it.
This is not easy. This is a hard moment that you're in right now. And I thank you for being on. And I know you wanted to tell your story. So tell me, what happened? What led up to this positive test?
Just honestly, I want to take responsibility for my actions. I know what I did. I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm allowed not to do, and I still made that decision. Being in that position of my life, finding out something like that, something that I would say is probably one of the biggest things that have impacted me positively and negatively in my life when it comes to dealing with the relationship I have with my mother. So that definitely was a very heavy topic on me, and people don't understand what it's like to have to. Or people do. We all have our different struggles. We all have our different things we deal with. But to put on a face, to have to go in front of the world and put on a face and hide my pain. Who are you, or who am I to tell you how to cope when you're dealing with a pain? Or
dude, you follow Twitch's rules even if they're stupid. This is the same for her. She has to follow the Olympic rules. Yeah, well, the Olympic rules are really fucking stupid. There'd be no issue with her drinking alcohol, though. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, literally, that's the idiotic part of it, is that, like, she could drink all the alcohol she wants.
Happy birthday to my sister Kelly. Hassle.
Or you're dealing with a struggle that you've never experienced before, or that you've never thought you would have to deal with. Like, who am I to tell you how to cope? Who am I to tell you that you're wrong for hurting? So I think just honestly, just leading up to that, dealing with my mental health, dealing with my mental as is with leading up to the games, every time stepping on the track, definitely expected to be a record-breaking time or something like that. So just with that, pressure in itself was also just another thing. With this actually been my first full professional career, my first full professional circuit this year due to, the pandemic. So just considering all of that put together, long time, my agent, my sponsor, my sponsorship, my family, knowing we dealing with all of this stuff. So,
Sha Carri, I just want people to understand where you're coming from, and tell me if this is correct. But it was a few days before your big race and the trials, you found out that your biological mother had passed away.
Olympians can't be pothead. No way we can set that kind of example for our children and community. Dude, are you fucking stupid? A pothead? You're a fucking loser who sits on his couch all goddamn day and watches Twitch streams. These motherfuckers are literally some of the greatest athletes on the planet. If they can smoke weed and be able to compete this way, then I think they can do whatever the fuck they want, okay? If anything, it literally is like, oh, that's sarcasm? Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. That shit pisses me. The people actually do feel that way, by the way. That's why they fucking took away like Michael Phelps' endorsements and shit.
You found out when a reporter told you, and it was after that you ingested some kind of marijuana. I should mention you were in Oregon.
Ingested some kind of marijuana is perhaps the most like square way of referencing smoking weed.
And it's legal in Oregon. You didn't violate any law, but it was against the rules of your sport. And as you said, you knew that. But is that what happened? Is that how this unfolded?
Honestly, yes, that is the story. I had an interview scheduled with my agent. I knew I was having an interview. I knew going into the interview, I was just thinking it would be a normal interview, and then on the interview to hear that information come from a complete stranger was definitely triggering, was definitely nerve shocking, because it's just like, how are you to tell me that? Like, it's like, and no offense against him at all. He's just doing his job, but definitely that sent me in a state of mind, in a state of emotional panic, if anything. And still knowing that I still, even though I'm here, I still have to go out and put on a performance for my dream, go out there and still compete to what it is. So yes, definitely triggered, and from there just blinded by emotions, blinded by sadness, blinded by just hiding hurt, honestly, for the fact that I know that I can't hide myself. So at least in some type of way.
So that's one thing. So Sha Carri is getting or she might still be able to run, but she's getting suspended because she ingested weed. I guess she took an edible. There are a bunch of runners from Africa that can't run because their T levels are too high, despite being cis women. Okay, this has happened already in the past with Caster Semenya, and now Christine Mboma and Beatrice Masalingi are the latest accomplished athletes to be excluded under the rule that basically destroyed Caster Semenya's career. Two 18-year-old cisgender sprinters from Namibia, Christine Mboma and Beatrice Masalingi, have been banned from running the Olympic 400-meter dash because they have a natural high testosterone level. They're now the two latest African women to be banned from the track events because they won't fit the World Athletics Organization's definition of womanhood. This is the same concept as like saying Michael Phelps can't fucking swim because his arms are too long. It's like saying tall NBA players should not be able to play because they're too fucking tall. They want to limit the amount of testosterone. They want to limit the testosterone levels in all the people that are competing, partially because it's hard to, sometimes it's not easy to figure out if someone's doping, okay? And I think that's like, I think this is actually a shortcut that they are taking. And the reason why they're taking the shortcut is because it's not easy to figure out if someone is like doping or has cycled. Okay? And because they can't do that, they're like, well, okay, well, we're just going to cap the levels of the testosterone levels that you have. There is no relationship between unaltered endogenous testosterone and sports performance. I know, surprising, right? Also, there's complete overlap of testosterone values for cis males and cis females. Endogenous testosterone histogram for men and women in elite sport, a study of 693 elite athletes. In statistics, completely overlap means the bottom of the male range is the same as the bottom of the female range, near zero. But the top of the female range doesn't quite extend to the top of the male range. Low testosterone elite men are statistically overrepresented in elite male sports. 0.5% of elite male athletes were naturally below the average for cis female athletes, and 25% of elite cis male athletes are below the current cutoff. For any testosterone policy you pick to exclude men from women's sports will not work. There will always be some elite cis males naturally below that level. Their country could just give them a female passport and they could compete. This was possible for both the 2016 and 2018 Olympics. Did this happen? Not even once. It turns out men that want to pretend to be a woman just for sport glory. It turns out that unaltered endogenous testosterone is a terrible way to separate men from women. In fact, there is no clear biological list of features that allow us to even remotely cleanly separate men from women. Chromosomes? Nope. Testosterone? Nope. Height? Nope. Look at height. Also complete overlap. In fact, the sample of elite athletes, the shortest athlete was a man. This kind of complete overlap between genders is true for any and all physiometric characteristics you can pick. Until 2011, the rules were involving just chromosomes, which completely banned trans women. They changed it to hormones to actually allow trans women that have gone through HRT to perform. But the byproduct is now some cis women with naturally high tests are being banned. It comes from a place of suspicion, suspecting that people are doping. Okay? And intersex people get fucked over. I think Caster Semenya is intersex, if I'm not mistaken. All the banned women are black cis women from Africa. Mboma was banned from some events at the Olympics one day. Masilingi was banned soon after she won a meet in Switzerland by running a 200-meter dash in 22.67 seconds. It's important to understand that both our athletes were not aware of this condition. Neither did any family member, their coach, or the NNOC-CGA, the Namibia Olympic Committee, were aware of it. Instituted a rule to establish limits for female athletes in 2019 or 2018. The Federation began more closely examining the body chromosome levels in 2009 after Semenya ran so fast that the IAAF suspected her of cheating. A rare medical condition in the out athlete that gave her an unfair advantage. However, others criticize the rules having undertones of European racism and imperialism. As trans writers and activists have been telling us for quite some time, the concept of binary sex, there are only two non-overlapping sexes, and one is either one or the other is not as clear-cut as many claim. She's the author of White Tears, Brown Scars. The efforts to bar Semenya also demonstrate how easy it is to undermine women, in particular racialized women, by shifting goalposts and requirements for entry into womanhood. They want to make sure that trans women can compete and it's fair, but then they're fucking barring cis women from competing. Like these people are all fucking freak talents, okay? That's the point. You're an Olympic athlete. I don't give a shit. I don't understand it. I find it really dumb to limit competition in this way. Especially because, like, the concept of fairness is completely made up. There is no fairness. First and foremost, there are significant socioeconomic factors that absolutely alter your pathway in life to becoming a freak fucking athlete. Okay? You can say shit take all you want. You think that like athletes working in the best facilities on the planet their entire lives because they come from like decent backgrounds, decently like wealthy backgrounds, are competing on the same playing field as like a dude in the Namibian track and field system? It's literally the fucking truth. So this notion of like fairness in competition is purely arbitrary, completely arbitrary. Why not just make a trans-only competition? With what?
Like to see how your hair
with
would
who?
fare in a blizzard?
And then you're gonna have the cis women in the trans-only competition? We're talking about something that literally bars cis women from competing. A cisgender male could compete with women under these rules easily. A cisgender male, if judging by T levels, could compete against women when cis women can't compete against women. Also, trans-only competitions with what, bro? There's like 12 trans athletes on the fucking planet. And they're all in like different, you know, sectors. What would they do? They just automatically get a gold medal, dude?
Pogo.
They're still women. Trans men are still men. Trans women are still women. What are you going to do? Sorry, we just got to exclude you, and so you can just have a gold medal all by yourself. Why are just pretending now that there aren't people who just have an advantage genetically? No, people recognize that. I've always recognized that. We literally celebrate that. We celebrate the natural genetic advantage that people have in every other facet, except for when it comes to trans women or cis women that have high levels of T. It is the one area where like everyone's like, whoa, we got to do fairness, dude. The women they are competing against care, though. That's not even fucking true either. And also, how is that any different than someone being like, I don't like that LeBron James is a fucking freak of nature? And that's not even true. It's always like one or two fucking dumbass conservatives that come out and like speak out against it because they're transphobic. Yeah, you think the men that have to swim next to Michael Phelps appreciate that the motherfucker has gills and like webbed feet and shit and the longest arms in America? No, they don't like it. What are you gonna do? Stop Michael Phelps from competing. I don't like it. See, this is what it is, though. Here it is, and this is why it's always transphobic. It's always transphobic, but that will leave actual women out of the competition. Why? Why are trans women not actual women in your mentality? That's the point, okay? That's why it's transphobic. Because you believe that, like, trans women aren't women and should not compete against, like, cis women because those are the actual women. Because no matter what happens, you're like, no, trans women are different. And of course, there are differences. Like, I understand that. Those aren't differences that should stop trans women from fucking participating in competition, especially when cis women have differences too. They can have natural genetic differences. And again, this is a conversation that we're having about cis women being barred from competition, specifically because they naturally are producing more testosterone than the average cis woman. So what's up? Anyway, let's move on from this. There's one last thing I want to talk about, which is they banned swim caps designed for black athletes with natural hair. Soul Cap, a British company that makes swim caps, supports swimmers with diverse hairstyles, is speaking out after it said that the governing body for water sports competitions did not certify its caps for the Olympics. We hope to further work for diversity in swimming by having swim caps certified for competitions, so swimmers at any level don't have to choose between the sport they love and their hair, the company wrote in the statement they posted on Instagram. Soul Cap sells 4 sizes for younger swimmers. Feeling included in seeing yourself as a sport at a young age is crucial. I don't know why they did this. I don't know what the reason is that they like banned this. Like, what do they say? The decision is one that we believe will no doubt discourage many younger athletes from ethnic minority backgrounds from pursuing competitive swimming. The Black Swimming Association wrote on Instagram. I guess maybe because it's not like super tight. Specifically used by people with long, voluminous, and afro hair were barred by FINA because, to the best of their knowledge, the athletes competing at the international events never used, neither required to use camps of such size and configuration. The Black Swimming Association wrote, "We believe this statement made by FINA confirms what we already know, the lack of diversity in elite swimming and in higher positions in global aquatics, and the lack of urgency for change." Deering, who is a co-founder of the Black Swimming Association, did not immediately respond to a request comment from Today. However, Soulcap paid tribute to her in a post on Friday by calling her a trailblazer and a role model for showing what it looks like on the world stage to both love your hair and the sport unapologetically. Considering the fact that these are not as skin tight, so it like gives you a little bit of breathing room for your hair, it's actually less aerodynamic and therefore a disadvantage. So what the fuck is the problem? I don't understand, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Rules are rules, right, guys? No matter how fucking stupid they are. Okay.